Oh man, what has happened to Luna? We're down 16%, in fact, over 16% from our highs from about 103 all the way down to about 86. There's a whole bunch of FUD which I'm going to share with you guys. And should we be nervous? Should we be questioning our positions? Where do we stand? We're going to take a look at the charts. We're going to go through all that. So just make sure you stay tuned until the very end. But before that, as always, before any of our altcoins, let's pay homage to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, because unfortunately I was right on this one when I pointed out yesterday that we could see some potential downside. Now you remember, if I go over to the 4-hourly on Bitcoin, we spoke about, let me just remove the VPVR, we spoke about the worry that I had in the fact that we were unable to penetrate above 52, and you can see here the first time we got rejected, we created a higher low, so it was okay. But I mentioned that we looked like we were curling over, and just in that moment we had the relief rally, we had the liquidations, bounced off 52, the bears were in caught the balls in a trap, and it sent it all the way down. If you look at the retracement here on Bitcoin, if we measure that from the 52, very roughly the 52 mark down to where we're sat currently, that's a 7% move on Bitcoin. That's no mean feat. And what it means now is we're sitting here at 48,000, about 300 mark here on Bitcoin. But unfortunately, more so, is I now see an M pattern. Okay, so I can see an M pattern which suggests some further downside. You can also potentially class this as a head and shoulders pattern to the downside, but either way, this is a bearish setup now, and it gets you thinking about potential targets to the downside. Now we're coming up towards an important level of 47,850. Are we going to hold this? This is a support and resistance line which has been fortified over a long period of time, and we need to see whether that's going to hold. If that doesn't, we need to then have a look at the 43.5 level, and also the 41.5 roughly levels. Okay, so remember, zooming back out to the daily now here on Bitcoin, we have to look at the patterns. And if you remember, when this retracement started and a lot of people were saying no, we're going to get back to 60, when we lost this green rectangle, I did suggest we could be coming all the way down to our wedge even, and at the time I did say the 43 44 mark to collect some support before trying to head higher. So that's our next technical thing, because if you look at it from a very long-term perspective, what happens is we've entered a wedge, right? We've entered this massive violet wedge, we broke out to the upside, and this could be our retest before heading higher on a larger macro view. Okay, so potentially some downside here in the short term if we're unable to create a level to help us bounce to the upside. So not looking fantastic in the short term. The other thing to make you guys very aware of is on the short term here on Bitcoin, we still haven't flipped our EMA ribbon. Okay, so on some of our favorite altcoins, we have managed to do that, but here on Bitcoin, it looked like we were going to, from our bottoms here where we did this good breakout to the upside from our wedge, we hit our technical price target thereabouts, but we were unable to flip our EMA ribbon. The bears came back in and have sent us back down, so we continue to be bearish now. We've been bearish since this candle here on the 18th of November, and so we have been bearish now for a good almost a month and a half period here on Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean for our altcoins? Because particularly, I want to talk about Luna, because Luna has had a bunch of FUD going around, which has, along with the Bitcoin crash here a little bit, contributed to some of the downside we're seeing on Luna. And if you look at what we're seeing on Luna, let's just tidy up our charts a little bit. You remember, first and foremost, we've been on absolute tear on Luna. Let's not forget that. Let's take a moment to zoom out here on the daily and just remember how much of a run we've been on, which we've been covering on this channel. I mean, we entered the wedge here at, let's call it about $16, and it's been an absolute tear. We hit our first price target here of 76.79, which is fantastic. I've set my new price target at the Fibonacci level of 140, and I, like I said, fully expect a little bit of a retracement before we head higher. So this is a blessing in disguise. But first, what is going on, right? Why do we have this retracement? If we take our measuring tool and take it from the highs at 103 down to where we're at, you're looking at a 16-70% swing to the downside, a neat retracement to the downside. And what is causing that? Well, part of the issue is there was a bit of a scam going on the Mirror protocol. So for those of you who are familiar, Mirror protocol deal with synthetics on the Terra blockchain, Terra Luna blockchain. And what happened was one of the community members posted a resolution, right? A survey, which if users vote through to pass, would actually put it into action on the blockchain, right? That's how decentralization works. But in the small print, in essence, they put that they want to send themselves 25 million Mirror tokens, MIR tokens, which accounts to about $64 million. Okay, so this was a huge scare for the community. Mirror protocol then posted out that this is a scam, vote no on the resolution on the survey. And that has led to a bit of FUD, right? We've seen a bunch of the total value locked come out of the ecosystem. So again, if I just come to DeFi Llama here, you can see Terra Luna is still up here, right? We still have We're still at 18 billion, second after Ethereum, which is a mammoth at 157 billion here. But what I want to make you aware of is that we've now had a day change of 13%. So 13% of the total value locked in Terra Luna has just escaped the market. People have panicked. They thought maybe there's a hack. There's a bunch of FUD going around. People then take their money out. Any money they had in yielding or staking or in some of the smart contracts, they removed it. That's why we had 13% down. Now, if I click into that to drill into that just a little bit more, we can see a breakdown, right? Instead of falling for FUD, we do our own research. That's what I propose we do on this channel. And you can see here, all the favorite ones here are down, right? 5% down in total value locked for Anchor. Lido is down about 6.8%. Mirror Protocol is down 0.4%, but over the last 7 days, they're down 4%. And this is what we need to look at. If you look at the 7-day change, we're still on a perfectly fine trend. Anchor is still up 9% in total value locked over the last 7 days. Lido is up 1%. Astroport is up 2.65%. Starter is up 4.36%. So overall, we're still looking good. Yes, naturally, there will be an outflow when people are scared of what is going on in terms of this hack and they don't understand what's going on. That's perfectly normal. But guess what, guys? That is where, if you have high conviction in a project, if you know what's going on, if you do your research, these beautiful retracements are just a bargain, guys. They're just a bargain. It's a beautiful moment for you to retrace. We're just fighting now here at the 0.786 mark. We may get more of a retracement, right? We could even come down to the $77 mark here at the 0.618 mark. So a lot of you guys FOMOing in this pump. What did I say in my videos? I said specifically, it's not financial advice. Don't chase the pumps. There's always a retracement, guys. There's always a better time to create an entry. I said, guys, don't panic. It's been on a crazy run. We just ran from the bottom here. When we bounced off the horizontal resistance, we ran 100%, guys. Don't be chasing that. Wait for yourself to have a discount. Don't have green candle disease. Wait for a discount. And this is it. When you start getting your red candles, now you need to put your price points in and start nibbling it. You don't know how far it's going to retrace. Like I said, it could get down to 77, but equally, we could bounce off this Fibonacci level at 0.786 as well. Okay, so if you've got, not financial advice, guys, if you've got $10,000 to put in, maybe you start nibbling. Maybe you put 1,000, maybe you put 2,000, maybe you put a little bit and set price points for when you're going to put the next amount in. So that way, at least you don't miss the boat completely. And this is looking still solid on Luna. I mean, if we bring out our EMA ribbon here on the daily, perfect, right? We can even come down to, like I said, the 0.618 mark without having an issue. If we bounce off the 0.618 at $77, still perfect. Even if we bounce, guys, the 0.5% mark, which is your $69 mark on a Luna, which would be quite a big retracement. In fact, off the highs, if we went down to that level, you can see that obviously at 0.5, that is a 32% retracement from the $103 Luna, right? So this is, these are the areas we could still even get there and still be bullish on our daily. But as always, guys, have to caveat this with the fact that Bitcoin will still lead this ship, right? And unfortunately, we're seeing some bearish tendencies on Bitcoin. We're seeing volume start to come back in the market now as people are starting to shake off the festive period. New Year's would naturally have an effect on that as well. But when the volume comes in, we start to see the true direction of where the market's going. And if there's bearish tendencies on Bitcoin, we have to understand that that could mean sideways, if not downward action on some of our favorite altcoins. Hope you guys found that useful, guys. As always, build your conviction, be patient, be methodical, be rational, not emotional. When the market's being irrational, when a piece of FUD comes out and everybody panics and takes out all their total value locked from Terra, go buy yourself some, right? Not when people are FOMOing in here. You buy on the retracement. So that is what sophisticated investors do, and that is what I want to show you guys do. So if you appreciate this blend between technical and fundamental analysis, then as always, guys, hit up the likes, smash up the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.